What does Burkina Faso's decision to issue new passports without the logo of the West African bloc really mean for the future of the region? This bold move by the military-led government is more than just a change in design. It signifies a deeper shift in the nation's geopolitical stance and its growing determination to carve out a path independent of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. The decision, which aligns with the shared sentiments of Niger and Mali, reflects a profound reaction to the regional bloc's policies and underscores the changing dynamics in West Africa. Burkina Faso, alongside Niger and Mali, has been a focal point of ECOWAS's attempts to maintain regional unity and political stability. Yet, the issuance of these new passports without the ECOWAS logo marks a decisive break from this group. The decision comes after the military leadership in these countries announced in January that they were distancing themselves from the 15-member bloc. This isn't just a symbolic move. It represents a clear intention by Burkina Faso to signal its independence and challenge the authority of ECOWAS in shaping its political and economic trajectory. At the launch of the new biometric passports, Security Minister Mahamadou Sana clarified the message behind the move. On this passport, there's no ECOWAS logo and no mention of ECOWAS either. Since January, Burkina Faso has decided to withdraw from this body, and this is just a realization of the action already taken by Burkina Faso, Sana stated. His words leave little room for interpretation. Burkina Faso is moving forward with its agenda, regardless of ECOWAS's efforts to persuade the military-led nation to reconsider. The move to issue these passports without the regional bloc's logo is part of a broader trend in Burkina Faso's foreign policy. Since the coup, the country's leadership has sought to redefine its alliances, seeking new partnerships and turning away from the traditional Western-backed institutions. This is not just about passports. It's a step toward asserting sovereignty and resisting external pressures from regional and international powers. The decision resonates strongly within the nation, where the military leadership enjoys popular support, especially for their promises to restore security and stability in the face of ongoing insurgencies. This shift isn't happening in isolation. Niger and Mali, both under military rule, have also aligned with Burkina Faso in rejecting ECOWAS's authority. Their collective withdrawal from the bloc speaks to the growing dissatisfaction among these nations with ECOWAS's role in West Africa. For many in the region, ECOWAS is viewed as overly influenced by Western interests, and its sanctions against military-led governments are seen as punitive measures that ignore the underlying issues driving these political changes. As these three nations turn away from the bloc, the future of ECOWAS's influence in West Africa comes into question. For Burkina Faso, the launch of the new passports is a symbolic act of defiance, but it's also a signal to the international community that it is ready to chart its course. By removing the ECOWAS logo, the country is asserting that it no longer feels bound by the bloc's economic and political frameworks. This independence may allow Burkina Faso to explore alternative alliances, potentially deepening its ties with other non-aligned nations or regional powers such as Russia or China, both of which have shown increasing interest in African affairs. This development also raises concerns about the future of regional integration in West Africa. ECOWAS has long played a critical role in promoting economic cooperation and political stability in the region, but the departure of three key members could weaken the bloc's influence. Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger's withdrawal could inspire other nations to reassess their membership in ECOWAS, particularly those dissatisfied with the bloc's handling of regional crises. Now let's take a moment to reflect. What are your thoughts on this significant move by Burkina Faso? Do you think the country's decision will inspire other nations to reconsider their alliances? If you're enjoying this analysis, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Voice of Africa for more in-depth content on Africa's evolving political landscape. The passport change is just one step in Burkina Faso's larger shift away from ECOWAS. The country's military government has been critical of the bloc's sanctions, particularly following the coup that brought the current leadership to power. The sanctions, designed to pressure the junta to restore civilian rule, have been met with widespread opposition in Burkina Faso, where many view the military as the only viable solution to the country's security challenges. The military leadership's stance resonates with a population that feels abandoned by the international community and disillusioned with Western-backed institutions. Additionally, Burkina Faso's decision to break away from ECOWAS may embolden other countries facing similar pressures to challenge the authority of regional and international bodies. The move could have a domino effect, leading to the erosion of ECOWAS's influence and possibly signaling the rise of a new geopolitical order in West Africa. Countries like Guinea, which has also experienced political upheaval, may consider following Burkina Faso's lead in distancing themselves from ECOWAS. However, this move isn't without risks. ECOWAS has been a significant player in regional trade, security, and diplomacy, and Burkina Faso's withdrawal could isolate the country from these benefits. Without the economic support and diplomatic channels provided by ECOWAS, Burkina Faso may face challenges in navigating its foreign relations and trade partnerships. The question now is whether the country's leadership can successfully pivot to new alliances or create alternative regional structures to fill the void left by ECOWAS. At the same time, Burkina Faso's decision may prompt ECOWAS to re-evaluate its approach to dealing with military-led governments. The bloc's hardline stance on coups and political instability has drawn criticism from some quarters for being too rigid and disconnected from the realities on the ground. If Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger are successful in their defiance, ECOWAS may be forced to adopt a more flexible and pragmatic approach to governance issues in the region. As the situation continues to unfold, one thing is clear: Burkina Faso's decision to issue passports without the ECOWAS logo is more than just a bureaucratic change. It's a declaration of independence, a rejection of external pressures, and a bold statement about the country's future direction. The move is likely to have ripple effects throughout West Africa, and it remains to be seen how ECOWAS and the international community will respond. Before you go, what do you think this bold decision means for the future of West African unity? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to Voice of Africa for the latest updates and insightful discussions on Africa's political developments.